Hello, the internet, and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday, the 25th of July, 2020. 25 days into the month of July, and 25 days into July. Now, what is July, I hear you ask? Well, this is a concept, a project, a thought made up by the Danny Black, not Danny Black, the Danny Black. And I want to give him props. And if you want to give him props, go ahead and hit his link in the chit chat. This goes to his channel. It's his concept. He took the word live, turned it on its ass end, attached it to the word July, and came up with July. Now, I want to be clear. The concept of going live every day, that's not the Danny Black's concept, but the idea of July and the branding was his. Now, he did say I could use this back when we were friends, and so we are no longer friends thanks to his ego, but I want to promote him because this is his concept, and I'm running with it for the second year in a row. He's no longer touching it, so go and give him the gives love. Feel the gives love, Danny Black. Oh, sorry, the Danny Black. Got to make sure you put the in front there in case you confuse him with any other Danny Black out there. Yes, I am bitter. Not denying that. I'm bitter. I think his decision to end our friendship was lousy. Absolutely lousy. But I want to give him, I said I'd give him the props throughout this month, and there it is, the props to Danny Black. Folks, on this stream today, we're going to talk about your favorite vacation spot. Now, you might know it as a holiday. You might know it as like a getaway. What are the other terms for it? It's vacation, holiday, getaway, time off, relaxation, whatever you call it. The idea is, where do you enjoy doing it? And do you have memories of good places that you've done it in? Well, that sounded a bit dubious. Do you have memories of good vacation places that you've been to? Before we get to that, though, I do want to address the chit chat, as this is a live freaking stream. Let me go to the very top of the chit chat here. Tim began with "Good morning, all." I didn't actually see this comment. That's weird. That wasn't on my phone. It says, Tim says, "Did you know on this day 20 or 30 years ago, something monumental happened?" Well, at least I'm guessing so. I don't know what. I'm just saying. Well, you know what, man? Maybe nothing happened on this day. Maybe this was one of those days where, nothing went down. The world just existed. I don't know. What is it? The 25th of July. I mean, it's got a nice ring to it. July 25. I began, or so I thought, with "Hello, the internet." Sorry, Tim, I didn't see those comments. "Hello, the Benon," says Mindy. "How are you, Mindy?" "I'm great now that my weekend has begun." There you go. Celebrate good times. I said the weekend is upon us. Beautiful stuff. It began today for me, or yesterday, I guess. We did a streaming from Stevan on DLive. Very cool stuff streaming from Stevan. I'm really excited. I'm thinking, I didn't want to do this, but I'm thinking about dropping down to 720, but going up to 60 frames a second. Now, why would I do that? This is a little tech aside to the tech. This is, so 60 frames a second is obviously more information per second. Now, why would that come in handy? Well, if you're presenting a fast-moving object, such as driving, 60 frames is better than 30. It's a smoother appearance. Also, 720 would be easier on the bandwidth. I did see a little bit of pixelation going on there. Now, don't forget, we're driving around and cell towers move in and out of range, and I've got two things using two different 4G connections, but I'm trying to think, would 720 60 be better looking and smoother than 1080 30? Maybe. I'm willing to give it a shot. So this, on the YouTube stream next, not this week, but the week after, when we're going to do Orient Point, we will go 720 60. And I also bought what's called a decimator. Now, what's a decimator? Basically, it's a HDMI converter or a scaler. Now, why would you need that? You probably think, well, you don't need that. If you're sending out a clean signal and you're inputting the clean signal, you're good to go. Thing is, we don't know really what I'm sending out from my laptop. We know that it's the output from the HDMI dongle, but we don't actually know what that signal is. So if I can convert and conform that signal to what I know the LiveU Solo is requiring, it takes the strain off the LiveView Solo from doing that conversion. I'm sending the signal out of my laptop into a box called the Decimator. This is from Blackmagic. Nothing too expensive, couple $100. That Decimator, you can set the dip switches to select whatever you want. In this case, it'd be 720/60. You could even try 1080/24. You could even try 1080/50. You could try interlacing. You can do whatever you want with these things, but you want to make sure that the LiveView Solo receives that. Whatever the LiveView Solo says it needs, I think it's 1080/60 at this point. I'll change it to 720/60 and I'll make sure it gets it. And then if we do have pixelization and blocking and artifacts, it's 100% the signal degrading when we move away from the tower. But I gotta tell you, if I looked back at that stream, the time that we were actually pulled up at the tower, there was still some pixelization and blockiness. So I'm thinking at that point, it could be the signal going out of the HDMI here on the OBS machine. That's what I think. And by the way, if you're wondering about this, here's another. Sorry about all the tech stuff here. I couldn't sleep last night. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't sleep. I'm pretty tired now. I was streaming from Stevan from my bed last night. I was thinking about all this tech stuff. There is so if you upgrade your OBS, I'm on 24.0.6 on a Mac on Catalina. Now that was the first dot point iteration which ran on Catalina. They've since bumped it up and I think it's now at 27.8 or something. If you upgrade to 27 or whatever the current OBS version is past 24, if you upgrade to that and you want to use the NDI sources, you have to install the NDI runtime. Now, what's the runtime? I don't really know. If I'm being blunt, I don't really know what the NDI runtime is, but I know you need it to use NDI in OBS, and it only works past version 24, what I'm using. And so I installed the current version of OBS and I installed the NDI runtime and I did a few tests here for my interview setup and I got to a bottleneck and I couldn't get past it. Now what happened, and this is what I wasn't counting on, and this happened within 30 minutes of going live yesterday on DLive for Streaming from Stevan. So when you send a signal from OBS down the HDMI port, you need to right click and it's called full screen projector mode. Now what that does is what it sounds like. It sends the full screen of OBS into a projector, in this case the HDMI output, HDMI input into the LiveView Solo so you can see the stream. So it's the full screen presentation minus all the taskbars and toolbars. The thing is, only on OBS 24 and possibly lower, I'm not sure, but anything higher this doesn't work, because when you right click and choose full screen preview, not only does it give you the full screen preview on your secondary monitor, in this case the LiveView Solo, but it also shuts down your main screen. Now you might say, well, that's great, dude. You can't have a screen on when you drive anyway. It's a VDU. It's got to be black. The thing is, to get it back to life, you've got to turn off full screen preview. So if I ever pull up somewhere and I'm not driving and I want to check if frames aren't working or if there's been a troll on the chat or whatever it is, I need to be able to turn up. And what I've been doing is turning my brightness all the way to 0 and back up so that effectively it is a black screen. But, and this is the thing, right? So if you upgrade your OBS, you lose the functionality to right click full screen preview without the main screen going black, which I can't deal with. So I've kept the old OBS and the new OBS. In the new, well, in both of them, I installed the NDI runtime to get the NDI sources working for my interviews. And what I didn't understand is that that NDI runtime would also affect the old OBS in a negative light, in the sense that it just wouldn't run. So if you typed in, I just used the spacebar command to short click and go OBS, I've called one OBS space old, literally the old version, and OBS is the new one. I'd type OBS old and hit enter, and I'd see the icon bounce, and then it would just not load. And I was like, what the hell? And this is within half an hour of going live on DLive, which I've been promoting for 2 days, right? So stoked about Streaming from Stevan. Did a story about it, I was pumped, everything was going well, and OBS wouldn't run. I was like, what? And I did one of those things that I'm pretty, well, I've been told I shouldn't do. I got really flustered, like really flustered. I was like, fuck, I can't believe this isn't working. This has been working fine all week. What's going on? I'm on OBS. Oh, I'm not on the new version. This should be working. It was working like an hour ago. What's going on? I was like, and then I went, okay, go away. Go away. And I thought, I've only got half an hour. I can't go away for a while. I went to the ocean. I looked out, watching the lack of surf. I was like, yeah, okay, there's nothing out there. And I was like, okay, think about it. Think about what you've done, man. The only thing that you've done differently is install OBS, the current version, and the NDI plugins, and the NDI runtime. Now I was thinking, okay, go and uninstall all that stuff. And sure enough, getting rid of the NDI runtime and the NDI plugins. Luckily, OBS old opened, and I had like 15 minutes to spare, and I went live, and I was just like, all right, here's the lesson here. Do not upgrade anything ever if it works. A very clear message. If it works, do not upgrade it. For heaven's sake, dude. Especially not on like an hour or two before you're gonna go live, right? Like, I don't know what I've messed up before. I'll mess up again. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not claiming that at all. Sometimes I make myself wonder, though, what the hell was I thinking, right? Why would I consider upgrading anything when it already is working? You know why? I wanted to get the NDI stuff working for the interviews with the television back here and this and that. Funny thing about that, I don't even need NDI. Get this for a humor. By the way, we'll get into the topic of conversation. I'm just enjoying this little preamble here, but get this, right? Get this. On DLive 2 days ago, so not during my streaming from Steve, and just during a regular stream, I was trying to work through this issue. Now, the issue is I'm going to have a monitor back here with my guest, my guest on the monitor. Now, that's running through the Mac Mini, that whole setup, a separate internet connection, separate CPU, everything's handled over there. Of course, the guest needs to see and hear this microphone and this camera. I'm not going to set up a second camera, right, and send the signal to them there. That would make no sense. Then I'd have to look at two cameras, like the audience and then the guest. No, that's not what I want to send both. So I've got a Y cable splitter for the microphone to send this microphone into a different USB sound card. And I was thinking about how do I get this signal over there? And of course, NDI is the answer. If you're not sure what NDI is, it's a technology from a company called NewTek. And basically, very, very bluntly or very quickly, it allows you to use any audio source or any video source over IP. So if you've got a network, which I've got here in the Gives a Minute in the Benny Flat, I've got a network here, and I can basically put any camera across it and pick it up in any. You can use it as a web source, as a webcam in OBS. So if I've got a Mac Mini on my bed and it's plugged into a camera, I can just send that through NDI over to this computer, and it's seamless. It's time. There's no lag, nothing. It's brilliant. Really, really cool stuff. So I thought, well, hell, I'll NDI that across to the Mac Mini. No drama. And we're going to use Discord video. You know, we looked at this on this very stream. We did a Discord video conversation test with Mindy, and we were all floored by how rad it looked. So I go and install Discord on the Mac Mini. I set it up full screen. I set up my NDI source here. Basically, it's really, really easy to do. That's why I installed the NDI runtime. And I sent my IP signal from this camera over to that computer. I verified that it worked. I brought up the NDI source window. Everything's tickety-boo. I go into Discord. I go to the camera to choose the NDI source. And what do you know? You cannot use an NDI input as a video camera source in Discord. Of all the things, Discord is a communication space, right? They've set up these servers so you can communicate with your fans. You can do it via live streaming. You can do it via gameplay. You can do it via an audio-only call. You can do pretty much anything. You can do it via video call. You can do group calling with 20, 30 people. The only thing you cannot do is use an NDI source as your camera. Now, you can do that on Skype. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Zoom. I freaking know because I tried all of them. And I'm like, what? Of all the fucking things. Like Discord. Like you Discord is the big player in this market, and they're trying to compete with the Zoom, right? When COVID kicked off, Zoom really took a hold, and Discord is trying to claw back what they had. They used to be just the gamer server, right? Just for gaming, but it's not anymore. They've rebranded for a live video, for a conferencing, for a chatting, for anything like phone calls, whatever you need. It's in Discord, and it's brilliant. It's really, really. We tried it. It was clean as. You just can't use an NDI source as your camera. So I got so frustrated, right? And that's when all that shit went down. This is the funny part. This is the really funny part. I brought that up, like I just have now. I brought that up on the DLive stream. Had a conversation with one of the givers a handle by the name of Original Hollywood or Hollywood, something Hollywood, OG Hollywood. I can't recall, something Hollywood. And he was telling me, or they were telling me, maybe you should look at doing something else, like do a different setup. And I'm like, nah, this is kind of what I got. And then they just go, why don't you just use 2 Discords? And I was like, no, I don't want to have to sort of send signals between 2 different Discords. That makes no sense. And then I said it again to myself, just use 2 Discords. And it's like, honestly, it's like a series of cogs just clinked into place. And it made pure sense. Why not just use 2 Discords? Why not just use 2 Discords? You got one on the Mac Mini, right? One on the Mac Mini, and the Discord on this computer makes so much sense, right? The Discord here is where my camera's going out of. So this, and on the Discord, both Discords are running the same video call. So on the one, my friend, my guest, will see me through and hear me through here and there, and on the other, it displays it. There's no IP, there's no NDI needed because we're not actually using that Discord for the call, although we are. That's just displaying it. And I was like, it was like this. That was the equivalent of me going out to the ocean and just breathing in and thinking, what did I do wrong? What have I done wrong? Think about what you've done in the last half an hour. You installed NDI runtime, you installed NDI plugins. Uninstall them. That's what that was like on the stream. But the difference was the information came from someone who was thinking about the situation, but not in the situation. So I guess the key message on both those scenarios is to get away from the situation so that you can sort of look at it from a distance. Me looking at it from the ocean and forgetting about it, and me pitching it onto the DLive and having someone else assess it certainly brought more clarity. Now, I haven't tested that yet. I'm going to do that after this stream today. But if that all works, that does mean we're getting a lot closer to guest interviews. I've been having a bit of a chat with Charles Marlowe, and he's pretty keen to come back on and talk a little about what he's been doing in terms of live streaming and his life and his... there's been a lot of changes with the vegan cheetah. If you want to learn about that, I guess I don't want to use him. I don't want to have him as the first guest because I know that it'll be a little bit glitchy and there'll be issues. So maybe we'll do a test here, like an interview with maybe Mindy. I don't know, but we'll just do something just to verify it all works on the stream, and then we'll get into actual real interviews, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm just so stoked that it's all working, or it's getting closer, and that it's not just me it's not me alone that's bringing this. It's the givers that are bringing it. And I've waffled on here. I know. Let's go back into the chit chat because I've gone completely off tangent. Okay, how did I get onto that tangent? Streaming from Steve Van, the tech issues. Bang, gotcha. Okay. So Mindy said, way back up in the chat, Mindy said, I'm trying to decide which vacation was her favorite. I guess I've had a pretty blessed life since I've had a hard time deciding. I have so many vacations. You've really lived. And I said, La Jolla, that way you speak of it, I would have thought that would be the one because she always talks about that. But then Mindy said, my favorite vacation as a child was up in New Hampshire. My dad got a beach house rented there for 3 months during the summer. His work paid for it because they wanted him to work at a remote location. And I said, that would have been heaven as a child, right? He told them that he refused to be away from his family that long, and so they just rented a house for us nearby, which happened to be right on the beach. Every morning we'd hang out on the boardwalk playing arcade games and eating saltwater taffy and funnel cakes, which we know what the saltwater taffy is. We saw it the other day on the stream. Mum gave each of us 4 kids $1, and we would have a lot of fun with that money every morning. Dude, that reminds me, Mindy. That just reminds me of a side tangent. This is something that I've never really said before on the stream, and I guess it's kind of pointless and irrelevant information. But my nana won lottery back in the day, and quite a lot of money. And when we were kids, one of the first things that they did was buy a new house and had a swimming pool. And I recall being probably about the age you are here, and you talked about getting $1 to go down and play arcade games. Nana would throw into the pool. In Australia, we just got the gold coins. The dollar coin was a gold coin, and not long after, the $2 coin came out, a smaller one, gold as well. But I only remember it being the $1. And they would fling dollar coins into the pool, and we'd dive in and get them from the bottom, and then we could go and spend it up at the store and get candy. Yeah, I guess, I mean, that could be a stream on its own. Hey, like, what's it like living in a family that won the lottery? I mean, I would have been 8 or 9 years of age. And yeah, it was a big win. It was a big win that Nana won. Couldn't have happened to more deserving people as well. My Nana and her husband, who'd passed on, she'd remarried. Anyway, here we go. Mindy's channel. We played pirates in the sand dunes in the afternoon and swam in the ocean. Oh, there you go. Was it good for swimming? There you go. Swam in the ocean. It was magical. All 4 of us kids remember it as a favorite childhood memory. And I asked, have you been back there? Mindy said, no, I've never been back. I think it stays magical that way. Yeah. But then you said, as an adult, La Jolla is definitely up there. Yeah. Mindy's channel. But since I've kind of had a vacation home there, anyway, I don't really count it. It always seems like a home away from home. I was going to say, I was trying to get to a point there about the childhood memories. I haven't really had a vacation like in a long time. I haven't been on vacation. Now, you might say, well, you went away with your sister and her family. Yeah, I guess that's a vacation, right? It's like spending time with your family away. Yeah, for sure. But we did do family stuff back in the days as well, and I've got a story about that too. Mindy says, okay, Mindy, Tim, hi Ben and Mindy, hey Timski. One of your favorites places is Zion National Park. I'm going there back in August, and I'm so excited. Yes, you've been talking about that one, Zion National Park. Sounds rad. Mindy said, any place west of the Rockies, and I'm happy. And I was saying, is that because that equals warmth? And Tim snapped me with that. Yeah. West means great scenery and landscape, and usually very dry, no bugs and no mosquitoes. Dudes, where I was last night on streaming from Steve Ann, there was huge mosquitoes. Like, I haven't seen them that big for a while. They were mammoth. And Mindy said, while I'm out there, I'm going to be getting all kinds of 10-minute videos for you on the IRL streams. Mindy, I wanted to address this, but I thought I'd put it there as well. I'm thinking about canning that idea. I'm thinking about doing a simple countdown instead. And the idea is that basically the concept of asking someone to do something outside of the stream is difficult. No one's replied, no one's done it, no one's submitted it. Even though we've only done it once on YouTube, fair enough, I haven't tried it enough. But the idea of asking someone to go away from the stream and do something for the stream and bring that back and submit it to the stream, it's too many things to do. Now, you do it. I'm thankful for that. But I'm thinking it might just be simpler to do a simple countdown that has like a black screen with the numbers, almost like the intro to this stream, and just have a little ticker at the bottom explaining what's going on. And also, that I kind of like that idea better, because if you're watching a stream and if you know that something's happening on the stream, like let's just say you're watching the Gives a Minute IRL streaming from Steve Ann, and you know that at some point we're going to be pulling up and getting out of the vehicle, and let's just say you need to cook dinner, or you need to take a dump, or you need to go to the school, pick your kids up, or you need to go outside and check the ocean, or you need to do something. Well, if you know that there's a countdown coming, and I'm even thinking about ramping it up to about 13 to 14 minutes, maybe 15, and the reason being, I don't have enough time to set shit up. I'm frantically running around setting that up. So maybe it's going to be 15 minutes. But if you know that's coming, it's going to be a 15-minute break, and you can have that screen up on your desktop in full screen with this very clear countdown. You can be like, well, he's not coming back for 15. I'll go and put the dinner on, or I'll go outside and bring the bins in, or whatever it is, and you know that I'm coming back. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's the angle I'm taking. It'll be easier on the givers, be easier on me, and it'll also be it'll be clarity. Tim's talking about meth heads out there in the West. I mean, LA definitely has its source of meth heads, and I would definitely want to talk to Charles about that, because he lived in an apartment with a token meth head. So I wouldn't mind asking him some questions about that. And I'm not, when I said he lived with, I'm not saying his ex-partner. I'm saying in the building he lived in, he used to film her from the top window. I haven't watched a lot of Charles Marlowe probably since those days. But he lived in a vehicle as well. I mean, this guy's interesting, right? He had, he's his own worst enemy, like we all are, but he's had a rough time and he's managed to make content through it all. He deleted a channel with 40,000 subs. I watched that stream. He's like, you know what? I can delete this and start again. He's like, he was basically telling off his audience. He was saying, you fuckers think that I'm not strong enough to do this? I don't need that channel. That channel's gone so far down in the shithole anyway. I don't need it. And he's like, in fact, watch this. And he pulls it up on a second screen. He goes, I'll delete it right now. And all of his chat's like, you won't do it, you big wuss. You're such a pussy. You will never delete that. You spent years building it. And he's like, won't I? Won't I delete it? And he fucking deleted it on the stream. And I mean, that takes balls, right? If you build a channel, it was like 46,000 subs or something. You build a channel to that level, and sure, the channel was dead, like my Gives a Minute channel, but he knew that he could build something again, and he's built a new channel, and he's harnessed his focus, he's harnessed what he wants to do on YouTube, and he deleted that one. I think that's commendable. And you might say, yeah, but that guy was a junkie and this and that. Well, everybody has their issues, right? Nobody. Anyway, I want to interview him because I think he's a very interesting character, a very cool guy. Anyway, let's move along, because that's got me off on the topic of drugs, right? Tim said, I'm watching some videos I took of my tame magpie. I think he was tamed me into bringing him breakfast every morning. I've learned he has a distinctive warble for calling me. There you go. Bora Bora and Tahiti are pretty darn awesome. You've been to Bora Bora and Tahiti? Wow, Mindy, you've been around a lot. Tim may put those videos up on YouTube. Well, if you do, Tim, let us know. So then I said to see you in 10. Okay. Okay, of course, man. Share it as you will see fit. Okay. Tim, I'm thinking of calling a native animal rescue service to check his foot and hopefully fix it. I mean, a magpie. There's a lot of magpies out there, Tim. They probably won't fix it. Probably won't worry about it. Magpies, they're all over the place, dude. Nothing against magpies. I love them. In fact, magpies a great bird, right? I'll be doing my 11K fitness walk. I'm doing 11Ks now. And as you see a magpie on the side and you walk up to it, it'll look at you like that. And you can almost step over it. They just look at you and they're like, yeah, that's cool. They're not really frightened of you, are they? Tim says, however, I do love being in the countryside, especially in the semi-desert regions. Traveling the Great Dividing Range from Victoria right up through Queensland is a great trip. Green and lush on the coastal side and dry and flat on the west. It's an amazing view along the way. How far is it from Sydney? It kind of borders, well, it doesn't border, it stretches right up and past Sydney and keeps going. It's about 3 hours to the west of Sydney, though. The Great Dividing Range closest to Sydney is known as the Blue Mountains. Fantastic place, about 3 to 4 hours west of Sydney. But Ben would know it better than me. Yeah, I spent a lot of time up there. I love the place. And what about the mountains where the film Man from Snowy River? That's further down here, further down south here. Fantastic horse riding. There you go. There's Danny Black's channel. The Man from Snowy River was filmed near Mansfield in Victoria. Mansfield, which is further south here, and inland, which what's the word? What am I trying to say? The band Violent Soho are from Mansfield. Not ironic. Coincidentally, Violent Soho from Mansfield. There you go. I never knew that. Sorry, Mulgoa, Wallisia, and Luddenham in the Blue Mountains. Is that where they filmed The Man from Snowy River? In the Blue Mountains. Okay, gotcha. Mindy, I hate upgrades. There's always a glitch. There you go, right? You may find the Aussie film Smiley or Smiley Gets a Gun. Interesting film as it shows the Aussie. Okay, cool. Tim, there are probably my favorite movies as it shows basic life as it really was in the late 60s. Okay. I can. Yeah, Mindy says I can talk all day. Probably be a fun sample interview. Yeah, okay, Mindy. I think if you're cool with that, we'll do that. Chicken Little in the house, and I'm getting to the bottom of the chat, folks. Sorry about this. My favorite vacation spot is Ocean Grove, New Jersey. Huh. Ocean Grove, New Jersey. I believe I've seen that on the Ben Gravy channel. I believe I've seen that. Hi, Chicken. Hello. I love New Jersey. There you go. Perd Beer. Hello, Perdski. Welcome to the Chatski. My favorite destination is Lamu. Oh, you know what we haven't been doing, folks? Oh, okay. Hang on. Shit, I want to get to the bottom of the chat, though, first of all. I'll get to the bottom of the chat. Chicken Diddle, I come here for summer. Good morning, Tim. Mindy's channel. Hey, Perd. Benny Crawford. G'day, Benny. How are you, man? Just scrolled up for OnePlus for Alpine Australia. There you go. Trionic Shooter. Hi, I just started watching you because of the full face snorkel masks and I love them. Thank you, Trionic. That's a cool handle too, Trionic Shooter. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. We do a live stream here every day in the month of July, and then we just do a weekly stream. But if you want to follow me on DLive, I do a daily stream on DLive. I'll put the link in the chit chat for you there if you want to come across to DLive as well. But nice to have you, Trionic. I'm glad you enjoyed the snorkel mask reviews. I gotta be honest though, haven't done a snorkel mask review in a while. That side of my channel is dying or dead. That part of my channel, I guess, is no brands have been reaching out, although it is winter in Australia and that is the slow time for snorkel masks. But typically what I've found in the past when my channel was gaining an interest and popping, that's when I'd get a lot of requests from brands to work together, and I would have to fly to the northern side of the northern, well, not the northern hemisphere, but the northern parts of the southern hemisphere where it's still warm, such as Fiji and Vanuatu, and do the snorkel mask reviews there. But in the last year and a half, there's been no brands that have reached me. No brands have been reaching out to me for snorkel mask reviews. Actually, there was one, but they declined due to the pricing. And I got to tell you why that is. That's because YouTube aren't putting my videos out there. My videos haven't changed. YouTube just isn't promoting them, so no brands are seeing them. I can't do anything there. Hi Benny, welcome Trionic. Hi Mindy. I wouldn't use a black screen for that, says Perd Beer. That you should create a nice bumper with your photography. Trouble with that, Perd Beer, all my photography is band related, and that's not what the streams were about. Trionic Shooter, there's not a lot of people here. No, this Trionic Shooter, let me be clear, this channel's dead. The Gives a Minute YouTube channel is dead. So I appreciate you coming in. If the other 20,000 subscribers that came here for snorkel masks would come into my live streams, perhaps things would change, but the channel's dead. It's a fun group though, Trionic. Thank you, Mindy, thank you. He reportedly closed that channel for legal reasons relating to his drama. Oh, Charles did. Is that right? Well, that's not what he said. We can ask him about that, though. We can ask him about that. Ocean Grove is my favorite vacation spot. There you go. That's the New Jersey place. What's your favorite part, Chicken? I like going to the snow, Benny. And when someone in Australia refers to going to the snow, what they're referring to is... this is a funny Australian expression when you think about it. In Europe, what's going to the snow mean? There's snow nearly everywhere, right? But if you go to the snow in Australia, you're going to a place where it gets cold enough that it snows every now and then. And if it's not real snow, they make snow. That's funny. It's a funny Australian saying. It's like 2.5 hours south and inland from here is the snow. It's like, I'm going to the rain, or I'm going to the... Oh, no, you say the ocean. Fair enough. Guthaga or Charlotte's Pass is your favorite. There you go. I know there's one in Australia too. There's an Ocean Grove in Australia. Probably one everywhere, right? The Ocean Grove. Benny Crawford can't stay for long. I have an update for you, Ben. Thank you, Benny. I'm looking forward to that update, dude. You and Ben Gravy should collaborate. Chicken Little, I actually did. Well, I've DM'd him a couple of times and he's replied. One time he was saying one of his goals for 2020 is to get to Australia. And I sent him a little message saying, dude, if you ever want to come out here, I've got space for you and your crew here for whatever the time you need. Got a beach literally 10 meters from here. There's Culburra Beach, famous for pretty big name surfer. Owen Wright, if you know the dude, he grew up here. Anyway, and Ben Gravy did reply. He said that'd be He said that'd be sick, man. Mind you, that was before COVID-19, and there's been no. I'm not going to stalk the guy. I'm not going to keep sending him messages after. I'm not going to do that. But he knows that if he comes to Australia, there is space for him and his crew here. I'll pick him up from the airport. We can surf, whatever. He knows that. Also, just recently, I tagged him in an Instagram video, and he replied. So I found there's a great novelty wave just up here at Crookhaven Heads. It's got to be massive though for that thing to work. But when it's massive on the coast, that thing wraps around the headland. Go to my Instagram and you'll see it. And he replied. He's like, so that's pumping, Big Mama style, right? So I guess, in a weird way, he's aware of me. Whether anything comes, whatever. It's not a big thing. Tim, Chicken Little, yes, there is Ocean Grove in Victoria, Australia, a lovely coastal town, beautiful water views and good fishing. There you go. Thank you, Tim. Chicken Little, I came for snorkel masks, stayed for surfing. Thank you, Chicken Little. Yeah, the surfing is... Dude, I'm missing it lately. There's been no swell. There's massive swell coming. Holy crap. I looked at the... I gotta sneeze here. I looked at the Tidy Labs. I looked at the Wily Weather app, and it's going to be 5.4 meters on Monday. Maybe Sunday it's going to slowly ramping up and we'll get... 5 meters is too big for me. 2 meters is good. 5 is... shit. We'll see anyway. Photo montage around your region. I'll just take a nice photo looking at the sea. Yeah, Podby, I'm not really a landscape guy. I'm not a landscape photographer. We talked about that on the stream. I'm rubbish at that. Benny Crawford, lamination has been finished. 2 weeks from now, your new board will be cured and ready to ride. Shit, yeah, Benny. Wow, that's good timing, man. I should hit up Bell Surf Wax for some new wax too then. TKK, my favorite places will be cruising to the South Pacific Islands, Vanuatu, Fiji, New Caledonia. Absolutely. Me too, TKK. Good to see you, buddy. Cheers. Well, that's the bottom of the chat. Let's bring that up on screen so we can all play along. Mindy talked about her New Hampshire experience, and I asked if she'd been back there. Now, I wanted to put forward a little similar sort of scenario, I suppose. When we were kids, we used to go down the south coast. Ironically, we never came here. We would go past here. So we're kind of like, we're about 2.5 hours to the south of Sydney, where I am right now. And we grew up in Sydney. And so we would drive a little further and go either into Jarvis Bay or even further. I would go anyway. A friend of mine had a house. His parents owned a house in a place called Narrawally. Very Aussie word, or very Aboriginal, Narrawally. And in Trionic Shooter, do you miss snorkeling? Yes, I do. Totally. It's been too cold lately, but I do miss it. So in this town, they had a house kind of like this, actually, sort of like a different sort of setup, like on the beachfront, but a different kind of road. Not a beach view, but there was the house, the road, vegetation, the beach. And as a kid, from probably the age of about, I guess, maybe year 9, I guess maybe year 9 through, maybe year 8 through to year 12, I would spend all of my time, whenever I was off school, it would be down at Narrawally with a guy called Mob. Now, Mob is Matthew O'Brien. But everyone knew him as Mob, right? Mob and he lived across the street from me, and my mum tells the story when we moved into the place that we built, the family home. Mob was sitting on the driveway when we were like just hanging out the front, and Mum said, "Oh, hello, who are you? Oh, Matthew. I'm Matthew." I'm like, "Oh, hello, Matthew. I've got a son. You might want to hang out." And me and Mob became really close friends. In fact, we did nearly everything together. More than any other friend I had as a kid, Mob and I were the closest. I don't want to paint a bad picture, but Mob was very hardcore into all kinds of drugs from a very early age. Very early. He was doing some of the gnarliest shit that I'd ever heard of as a kid. Obviously, it started with kind of the low end, just smoking pot. But he moved into like snorting lighter gas and it's actually incredible that he's still alive to this day. I'll get to that in a second, but he was doing the gnarliest shit as a boy and ridiculous, right? Like his mum used to cater. His mum used to. He'd go to school, and his mum would look after his pot plants, literally his marijuana plants. This is way back in the day, right, when this was extremely illegal, and Mob had them growing on the outside sill there, and his mum would water them and tend to them and trim them and. Benny Crawford, I gotta fly, folks. Must work. Have a great day. Thank you, Benny. Cheers, my friend. Anyway, we'd spend all this time down at Narrawali, and over the years, as we grew older, we kind of, funnily enough, we grew apart, but we kind of grew apart in another city. Like I moved to Perth, and Mob moved to Perth with a girlfriend, blah 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 blah, and we hung out for years. But then we kind of like split up, and Mob went one way, and I kind of went the other way. And over the course of like, I guess the next 20 years, I never heard anything about Mob. In fact, I just assumed he was dead because of his drug taking. I just assumed that killed him. Never heard anything. And Facebook became in 2007 or something, and I always wondered where I would see Mob turn up, and he never turned up, and I just assumed that Mob was dead, and all of our close friends never really spoke about him. And it's really strange. Like, I heard through the grapevine he was living in South Australia. So he hadn't died, and he was in South Australia. I'd lived in South Australia for 10 years and never seen the guy. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, lo and behold, about 2 weeks ago, I get a friend request on Facebook. Who is it from? Mob. Now, you have to have a last name on Facebook, apparently. You can't just have one name, so it's Mob. And there he is. It's like, what? I'm like, Mob, holy shit, dude. And I got talking to him about it and this and that, and I just asked him, like, out of curiosity, because like I'm in Culburra Beach. I'm like, what about Narrawali? Like, both his parents died quite a while ago, and he was pretty estranged from his father. His father was a bit of an alco and a bit of a gnarly man. Actually, he was real grumpy, and actually, I would say this, not going to offend anybody, but Mob's dad was a complete asshole. Even to me, he was an asshole, and I had no relation to him. I was just a friend of his son, right? But he was a nasty old man, really grumpy, really. There was nothing good about life, and it was all depressing and all shit. It was a sad old man, and Mob hated him. Mob used to call him fuckface to his face, which is something that you would not expect to hear a son call a father. His father would be like, "Go on, dude," and he'd be like, "Why don't you do it, fuckface?" and walk away from him. And I'd never seen any child talk that way to a parent, but the father deserved it. Not quite, didn't deserve to be called that as a son, but from the son, but he deserved to be treated pretty poorly. Anyway, they passed away. His father passed on from alcohol poisoning, and then his mother passed away from dementia. I remember a story. One time she was driving back from Narrawali up to Sydney, because they used to do the trip up and down, and she fell asleep in the car driving it and drove off the road and survived. I was like, wow. And that wasn't far from here, actually. That was just before Nowra. She had a pretty nasty car accident, but lived. Anyway, many years later, she died. And I just happened to ask Mob. We had a bit of a chit-chat catch-up on Facebook. You can find it. It's all public there. He looks terrible. He looks totally, like, he's aged terribly. No surprising. He pumped that much drugs into himself as a kid. I said it's a wonder he's alive. He's only just alive by the look of it, right? But it's still Mob. And he said, no, we've still got Narrawali. In fact, his brother, so Mob was the youngest of, there was another Mob. There was Michael O'Brien, but they called him Ab for some reason. So Matthew O'Brien, the youngest, got Mob. Michael O'Brien, the eldest, got Ab. I don't know why. There was Ab, then there was Jenny, then there was Chris, then there was Matthew, Mob. And so Mob being the youngest, Jenny and Chris both took possession of not only the family home up here or up there in Sydney, but also the Narrawali home. And then, Mob, Chris and Jenny took possession of it. Mob sold his portion of it to Jenny and Chris, probably then spent it on drugs. And Jenny and Chris still own it. And Mob was telling me, no, they still own the place. And I just, like, the other week when my sister was here, we wanted to do a trip. It was pissing down with rain. And Narrawali's pretty close to a town called Ulladulla, which is also close to another town called Mollymook. Mollymook is a nice place to go for lunch. Got a nice surf club right on the beach there. Pretty nice. So we took a trip down. I said, well, I'm going to go up Narrawali. It's only like a couple of k's from Mollymook. I'm going to go and just cruise the streets just to, do the old family thing and see what it's like. And just to walk down the memory lane. And I went all the way down to the end of Matron Porter Drive, which is the street with the house on it. And at the end of the street is a place called Dawn's. We used to get takeaway and lollies and candy and Cool Sharks. Remember Cool Sharks for 25 cents? There's a lake at the end there. And there's a toilet block there, which I went into to have a slash, and it was like walking into a time warp. The toilet facilities, this sounds silly, but the facilities were exactly the way they were 20 years ago. It's a little bench as you walk in, a little triangular bench where Mob would sit snorting himself stupid with lighter fluid. And the same, like you could even, I didn't check, but I'm sure if I looked close enough, I would be able to see the word Mob like written. He used to burn his name using a lighter and make it black, and he would do it so long that you could make a word on whatever the light, the flame was hitting. I'm sure he did that plenty of times. But anyway, I did a drive-by past the house, and there were cars in the front. And I remember Mob saying, no, Chris and Jenny still own it. And so I just pulled up and I sort of watched it for a while, and Baxter said, why don't you go and just knock, just see who it is? Because there was a sign at the front, you know, holiday letting, holiday rental. And I thought, they're probably holiday makers. I don't want to get in their way. There was a girl doing something in the garage. I could see she was messing around with something. And Baxter said, why don't you just go out and just see who it is? I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to go out. Just pop out and see who it is. So I popped out and I said, oh, excuse me. Hey, sorry to bug you. Do you, are you renting here? Are you holidaying, or do you live here? And she said, no. My father owns it. And I was like, oh. And this, I was thinking in my head, this must be Chris's daughter, probably about 22 or 23. So, oh, wow, okay, interesting. And as I was talking, a woman turned out around the corner and looked at me and went, hello, can I help you? And I was looking at her, I'm like, holy shit, it's Jenny O'Brien. And she looked exactly the same as 20 years ago. And I was like, Jenny, it's Benon. And she looked at me, she's going, what, Ben? What? And big hugs. And it was like, you look, I have not seen you, not even, maybe even 26, 27. I hadn't seen her since like 1990, maybe 91, 92. I haven't seen her for a long time, right? What is it now? 1991, 2001. Okay, so almost 20 years, right? And I was looking at her and she's like, you, and I just want to show you. I don't normally do Facebook, but this one was important. So I did this on Facebook, took a picture of her with myself. Here she is. So this is me and Jenny, and literally in the kitchen of the upstairs apartment of the house at Narrawali. And like, you this means nothing to you, but that face, it's exactly what it was 20 years ago. And I made jokes with her. I was like, oh, you're still a she's a hairdresser, right? I was like, you're still a hairdresser? I was like, took my beanie off, and my niece did this for me. Can you fix it? She's like, actually, that's not a bad job. Not a bad job. So that's my vacation story. And what I wanted to explain with that is that going back to a family vacation place after many years, it can serve two purposes. It can be rewarding. It can also be a little sad, right? In this instance, it was rewarding. Jenny still there, still the same. And she actually showed me photos of the house, which was like, dude, I probably was in some of those photos, like, but out of frame, right? It's just so strange. Told a really funny story. One of the stories Mob told me, which I couldn't remember. This is young boys, right, with girls. There was a series of girls that used to come and hang out with us. We'll just leave it at that. And they used to do the classic thing that you see in the movies, you know, like the Hollywood film where the girl or the boy usually would flick like little pebbles from the downstairs up to the upstairs window, and you'd hear it tink, tink, tink on the window. And we'd go to the window and these girls would be out there, oh, come out and hang out with us, come and play or whatever. Or just come out. And it's like, there was one time when, heaven forbid, I cannot recall this, but I had a camera, and they were flashing us, they were showing off, you know, they were teasing us, and Mob was like, oh, get photos. And apparently, I cannot recall this. This could be Mob's drug-riddled mind remembering it wrong, but I don't remember it. He said I took a whole series of photos of these girls flashing everything with it at us, and every single one of the photos, the lens cap was on. And Mob was like, I cannot believe you. He said, I hope you've become a better photographer over the years, because that has haunted me forever. We could have had great photos. And by the way, where would you get that shit developed back in 1992? I don't know, 1993. And where would you get it developed as like 11-year-old boys? Right? This was before the internet. This is before by the way, I don't recall that happening. But I told Jenny, I said to Jenny, "Oh, can I see the room? And I just want to see the window and look down to where the girls would have been." And she's like, "What girls?" I was like, "Oh, you probably never knew this, and why would you?" But I told the story, and she's like, "Oh my God, that is so funny. What were those girls? Where were they from?" And I'm like, "They were just locals. We called one of them Brown Girl because she had brown skin. You couldn't do that these days, right? We literally called her to her face Brown Girl. We didn't even know their names for quite some. One of their names was Amber. Amber was a bit older and a bit taller. And I recall going to the lake with Amber and Mob, and Amber wore she had like a bikini that became see-through. I recall that day very clearly. I was like, wow, man, she's got a bikini that's see-through whenever it gets wet. This is incredible. Yeah. Alexander, a boyhood horror story. Charlotte Rose is smirking and smiling. Yeah, isn't that funny, right? Funny story. And if I could be honest, and I would probably remember that. I don't recall that photography thing. In fact, when I read it from Mob in the message, I was like, I don't recall that. And I was thinking, more than likely that probably didn't happen, because Mob, like I'm saying, he was completely out of his head nearly all the time. In fact, in that Facebook photo here, he made a comment saying, "Is that Nazza Wazza?" And that took me by surprise. What's Nazza Wazza? Apparently that's what he calls Narrawali, Nazza Wazza. I've never heard him say that before either. So I don't know. Like it might be him remembering things wrong. You'd think at that age you'd remember girls flashing you. Totally, Mindy. That's what I'm saying. Like that was Amber Orange. She was like no, she wasn't an Oranga. No. That would have been the first naked girl I ever saw, surely. That would have been the first series of naked girls I ever saw, surely, right? That's got to be and that's something I would remember. I remember seeing those girls naked, but I don't recall taking a photo. I don't even recall owning a camera. Certainly not a camera with a lens cap. If I had a camera at all, it would have been, and I did have cameras. I had cameras that we took photos, skateboard photos. If I had a camera, it would have been one with one of those point and shoots that when you press the button, the little mechanical lens hood opens up. It wouldn't have been an old school. It definitely wasn't a DSLR. It would have been a wind up, that kind of camera for sure. I can tell you two other stories, which is both of these are pretty depressing. One of them was the same girls. We were at the beach, and it was like, again, we wanted to see their works, and it's like, show us your what did we used to call it? Show us your hairy mood or something, whatever we would say, right? Show us. And so we were sitting in the sand, and the girls would just flash, like literally just flash themselves, and we were like, oh cool, that's rad. And then it was like, no, hang on, see, this is why I need someone without the drug riddled memories, because I don't remember this, but there was a point there where there were three girls. Mainly it was two. Mainly it was Amber and Brown Girl. Wait a second, Brown Girl was someone different. Anyway, whoever it was, there was a point there where it was you show us yours and we'll show you ours. The classic, right? Like totally from a film. Show me yours and I'll show you mine. And so we showed ours. We were, who gives a shit? Hey, we were like, get them out. And so it's not a public beach. This is Narrawali Beach. Take off our boardies. Hang it out, let it low, whatever. No dramas. Probably get a boner there and show them that as well. And then there was a point where the girls, only one of them showed us theirs. And we're like, well, you got to all show us. And the other one wouldn't. And she was a little coy, a little shy. I remember that. And then this is the sad story. Narrawali, I guess it would be the northern point, Narrawali Beach. It's got a headland. It's like I thought it was called Zenith Mountain, but I'm mixing that up with Port Stephens. Whatever it's called, it's the northern point of Narrawali, and there's a little bit of a bushwalk. You can go up to the top of this kind of like, it's only about 80 meters tall, not too tall. And it's a pretty steep face of rock down to the sand. And we used to watch this girl, brown girl, right? We used to watch her sunbathing. So basically we were perving. We were perving when it was okay to perv because we were young kids. If you did it now, if I did that now, that's like pedophilia, right? Or that's actually not pedophilia, but that's dubious. That's some dude. That's a dude in his 40s climbing a mountain to look down on a chick sunbaking. That shit wouldn't fly. But as kids, it was totally acceptable. And we used to go down to Dawn's and wait for brown girl to turn up in a car and get out. And she must have been a local. She'd walk across and go up the entrance to the beach, and then we'd go up the mountain, whatever it was called, and perv on her from the top. And this is so bad, right? This is so terrible. One of us had the brainiest idea of the idea would be to get her to move because she was laying on her back, and I think we wanted to see her upside down, see her ass or whatever. This is before thong bikinis. This would have been big 1980s, 1990s full briefs or whatever. But yeah, we wanted to get her attention, to get her to turn over. So Mob's idea was to go to the rock thing, right? Not throwing a pebble up at a window to attract attention at night, but let's just drop a rock off the cliff and, maybe she'll get startled. And I shit you not, it landed on her thigh. It literally landed right there on her thigh. And she jumped up and me and Mob jumped down. And here's the thing. From a height of about 80 meters, even a little stone, like a little pebble the size of your thumb, there'd be a chick, if she's still alive, there'd be a chick that spent her summers at Narrawali, and she would have a scar on her thigh from a stone, and she would have no idea where it came from. And it was me and Mob. It wasn't me that threw it, but it was me and Mob that were involved in it, and it was Mob that tucked it off the edge and got it on a thigh. One shot, right? It wasn't like we threw a series of stones. It was the only one that we did, and it landed on a thigh. And we just went and jumped down, and we're like, yeah, we ran back down the mountain and then went back to Dawn's and got a cool shark or an icy pole and just sat there like nothing had happened. And we watched her come out of the beach, and she was like holding her leg and like kind of not limping, but like obviously she was pissed. She had something wrong, right? She was in pain. And I was like, we were giggling, right? I mean, kids. And what did we think would happen? What do you think we thought would happen if that didn't hit her in the leg? She's gonna like look up and see two prepubescent boys peering at her through the bushes from the top of the cliff and go, "Hi boys, show you my tits." What like, it's just so stupid, right? So stupid. Back up in the chit chat. Good to be back, Mindy. Alexander's back in the chit chat. G'day, Alexander. How are you? Good to see you. You came in at an interesting time. Roofies, hilarious. A boyhood horror story. We used to go into houses, right? There was a new estate area, and it was called the New Estate. And I even spoke with Jenny about this. In fact, you can kind of see behind here in this photo, all this stuff behind. We used to just walk. That's like the equivalent right now. If you were to go out the back of this house, go downstairs and just walk through the back, you'd be walking through someone's house, right? Like someone's yard. And in America, you could get shot for trespassing. We don't go that far in Australia, but I remember walking, we'd go out in the afternoon and we'd go, let's go to the New Estate. We just walk straight through those houses. Most of them were holiday letting, and there was nobody there, and you could just walk under a carport or whatever. We didn't stick to the road. We just go wherever we wanted to, just walk in and out of people's carports. When it was raining, we'd go skateboarding in their carport. Where they parked their car, if there was no car there, we'd just skate there. It's so strange to think of how the equivalent would be like me sitting here and hearing a dude skateboarding where I park Steve Van. It's like, what, man? And there was one time when it was boiling hot summer day with these girls, and we went to one of these houses, and we'd assessed that there was a holiday house, no one around, and it was so hot. We were, the girls were in their t-shirts, and we wanted to get the wet t-shirt thing going, so we coerced them into under the house, and we got the hose and we sprayed them all, and we all sprayed each other, and then there was just wet t-shirts everywhere, and it was pretty cool. And I don't know why there was no photos of that too. Like if there was me taking photos of the girls with the rocks on the window, then I'm sure that. See, I think Mob's got that memory wrong. I think his bludgeoned brain remembered that wrong. I think maybe he wanted a photo taken of it, but we didn't have a camera, or the camera had no film, or I don't know. I don't know. I think he's remembered that wrong. We went on vacation. We went from vacation to naked girls. Charlotte Rose, right? And the beautiful thing about that is 20 odd years later and nothing's changed. I'd still go on vacation to meet beautiful girls. Hawkeye over here, Hawkeye. Pretty strange stuff. But folks, I guess, I tell you what I want to do here. I want to run my promo for the Armageddon. Now, I guess we've discussed vacations and whatnot, and we've kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent, but I do want to wrap it up here. I'm going to run my promo for the Armageddon. Now, you may be sick of it. I certainly am. I'm sick of this video. I'm sick of the Armageddon. There's only 6 more days of this that you got to put up with. 31 days in July. I understand if you want to bump out of this stream at this point and not come back. All I'm going to do is run the promo, and then we're going to come back and wrap the stream up. So if you're wondering about what the Armageddon is, and you think I'm an interesting character, and you want to hear my music, well, I've just recorded a new album. This video explains it and how you can get it for free. Welcome back to the, no, not a slightly random daily song at all. This is not slightly random, and this is not a song. This is a video to explain to you the Armageddon and how you can get your own copy of the Armageddon. Now, what's the Armageddon? It's my latest release. You know, I've been talking about the music I make under the moniker of That's Well, we've been discussing the latest recording. It's been taking place for the last little while. I'm happy to announce that today is release day, July 1, 2020. Why have I chosen the date July 1st for the release here? No reason except that everything kind of moved towards that being the end point of the recording process. And I figured for the whole month of July, I could promote this album, getting it into your hands. I want to give it to you for free. That's the thing. I want to give you the album for free. So as of today, and right through the whole month of July, there will be a link that I'll make clear to you either in the description here or in the chat. This is the link for you to go to and to nab the album for free, completely for free. You can download those MP3s and go to town. But the reason I want to talk to you more in detail about that is because I also want you to be able to get your hands on a hard copy if you want it. Now, you may not want this. You may just want the songs, and that's cool. But if you do want a hard copy of the album, you're gonna have to buy it, and it's not like you're buying it off a shelf. I'm only gonna print the amount that people order. So from July 1, let's say through to July 30, right? That's the whole month. That's the order process. So if you put your order in anytime in July, that means you are getting a hard copy of the album, but it hasn't been made yet. At the end of July, I will snap that process off, and if you've ordered, we'll go on and get those printed, and then I'll ship them to you. Now, the cost will be very, very negligible. I'm not looking to make money here. I'm not a musician. I'm a live streamer. I create content. I enjoy making music, but that's not the point of this. The point of it is to have a bit of a laugh. The only reason I want to do the hard copy is because last time with the second umming, so many people wanted a hard copy, and I only had 20 made. So this time, I'm not making them until I know how many are wanted. So if you do want to nab a hard copy, go to that link, do all the things there. While you're there, grab the download. This here is not the album. This is mocked artwork. This is the cover of the album, but that is not the actual album. On the album, there are a bunch of songs.
There was a time when I tried to explain. It was very blunt, but on the right track. I smoked him hard after a bottle of Jack. And what I said I would never take back. But he took it the way that a schoolboy would.
Without going too deep into the details, I recorded everything. Guitars, bass, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, vocals.
Duncan, Buzz Kingo. On certain tracks, he came down here and helped out, added his little bit to it as well. That's all listed on the liner notes in the artwork. Another reason why you'd want to get a hard copy. Having Duncan down here to help out with the music was so rad. It was so much fun. But he's not the only guest to appear on the album. Out here in the ocean, one day I was surfing with a South African guy who was holidaying in the next door house. And after a bit of chit-chatting, we got hanging out. And he kind of said, oh, just curiously, do you happen to have an instrument? I mean, I've been missing the guitar. I play a bit of guitar. He came in, we had a jam, we wrote a song. It's on the album. That all came from surfing right here. Just random surfing with a stranger.
It's looking for the dream. Today we're gonna feel like never before. Number 3, tomorrow the same.
Also featured on the album is the handiwork of Lachlan Sheehan. Now Lachlan is the sound engineer with Tracer. He did a beautiful, beautiful job at polishing a turd. He didn't just polish a turd. He rubbed that thing until it shone like Jupiter in all of its glory. Does Jupiter shine? I don't know, but whatever Lachlan did, he made this stuff way better than what it was. Lockie, dude, thank you so much, man. Go and have a listen to this and tell me this doesn't sound audibly, sonically insane. Lockie, yeah! There's also a few cover songs in here. Now, you guys wanted me to do 4 Non-Blondes, so I did that. That's in there.
Sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out, what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the
There's also a Pink Floyd cover. There's also an Omnis cover, right? I covered one of my own songs. The rest of that stuff is brand new material for you to enjoy. But that's not all. You know me and music. My favorite band is Ween. I love the band Ween. And so to make this release even more special, I recorded 20 covers of Ween songs, and it's on this album here. The point of me showing you that is, that's also for you as part of this package. When you download the album, The Armageddon, you get this as a bonus free disc. And if you order a hard copy of The Armageddon, you also get a hard copy of 10 more songs by Ween.
I don't know where you're coming from, but I wish you'd go away. And I don't know where you get your money from, but I wish I didn't have to be the one to pay. And I'm not sure how to say.
I've chosen to call it 10 more songs by Ween, but put 20 songs on there to be a little bit silly. But anyway, that's there for you as well. And I'll also throw in some Gives a Minute stickers for those hard copy orders. If you order a hard copy, you'll get some stickers. You'll get 3 things. You'll get the Armageddon, you'll get 10 more songs by Ween, you get a bunch of Gives a Minute stickers. I might even write a handwritten note on there for you as well. But you have to do it between now, July 1, and July 30. After July 30, there will be no more orders. Whatever it is, the number that we have, the amount, is what we go and order. There'll be about a month delay between when they get manufactured and when I can ship them to you. So if you order any time between now and the end of July, I would expect you to receive your copy of the Armageddon in September. That'd be the earliest. I'd say August will be the production, then there'll be the mail out. I reckon September you'd get it. That's why there's the download link to grab the music right now if you want it. Don't come to me after July and say, I want the album, man. You won't be able to get it. You'll have to go to Spotify's and Apple Music and all that place to buy it. This is the 1 month of opportunity. It's July, the opportunity month. Is that enough promo? I don't know about doing promo for my own music. There it is. I promoted my own music. Now look, while I sit down and take a listen to both The Armageddon and 10 More Songs by Ween, you guys can go back to the live stream. This is not a Slightly Random Daily Song. Just go back to the live stream. I'll see you there.
There you go, folks. That is the Armageddon and how you can get your hands on it for the month of July only. It's in the chit chat again. I've put it there for you. Go and nab it. Free download of the Armageddon and 10 More Songs by Ween. If you don't get it in July, you won't get it at all. Although I am thinking about making some videos for them. I'm thinking about making some video clips and putting them on YouTube as downloadable. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that too much, but I don't want to shoot a video for a song, but thinking a little bit about it. In the chit chat, Millsy's here. Millsy, look at this. Who have we got here, folks? You know who we've got in the house? The latest VP on DLive. DJ Millsy, a verified partner. Congrats on your achievements there, Millsy. Well played, buddy. And welcome to the VP Club. Good to have you there, man. That gets you access into the partner calls, also the partner Discord. Going to be looking forward to seeing you over there, buddy. Millsy said, "This is a Smoking Bar. It's probably my favorite song from the album, 100%, but Theo Burn It Down has a good beat to it." I'm in favor of Smoking Bar and Life Sentence. I like those two. And yeah, also Theo. But I'm a little sick of the whole thing, if I'm being honest, to be fair. Charlotte Rose, I'd love to have a vacation. I had a cruise booked in Penthouse Room for my birthday next month. And that's not going to happen these days, is it? No. Millsy, hey Charlotte, how you going? Good, thanks. Millsy, I just woke up 2 hours late. You woke up now? It must already... Hey Siri, what time is it in New Zealand?
In Wellington, New Zealand, it's 12:14.
It's already midday, dude. What the hell's going on, Millsy? Woke up 2 hours late. You woke up a whole day late, man. Free download, there you go. Congrats, Charlotte Rose with the star. Thanks, man. Yeah, congrats, Millsy. No worries, dude. You deserve it, man. Well played. I know you went through a sort of a rough time trying to consider your situation, and I know you struggled to, put everything together and come up with a solution. And I think your solution to reassess later, very valid, very good, very smart way to do it. Don't, reassess later on. And if the things haven't happened that you think should happen on the platform, then make another decision. Very, very smart way to do it. Folks, is everybody cool if we wrap the stream here, or do you want to continue chit-chatting? I mean, I'm happy to do it however you guys want to do it. If you want to continue chatting about the concept of vacations and where you've been and where you want to go, then I'm happy to stick around. If you want to wrap things up, we'll wrap things up. Oh shit. Wait for it. I see it there, Charla. Wait for it. Cut of meat. How much of a delay is there here? Cut of meat? Where's the
steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Cut of meat.
Thank you, Charlotte, for the $8 super chat with cut of meat. How much of a delay is there from when it's... That's a huge delay, right? From we see the super chat and then we don't hear it for... It's almost like another century. And I kind of don't want to address it until we hear it. It's kind of strange. I just came in. You can't leave me now. I mean, sure, let's stick around then. Like I said, I'm flexible with this. I'm flexible. I'm totally flexible. I'm happy to stick around, have a chit chat. I don't want there to be any I don't want there to be any confusion here. This is a two-way street, and the street's continuing on, right? What should we chat about then? What's on your mind, Millsy? Millsy, what's on your mind, dude? How do you feel about your status, and did you expect to achieve your status? Because I recall you saying you thought you were growing too quickly on DLive. So if I'm to present the other side of the equation here, wouldn't achieving VP be the wrong thing for you if you feel like you are growing too quick. Fair point. Fair point. Hit the jack? Shit, no, man. Calm down on a Saturday morning. Who would I be? Who would I be to drink Jack Daniels on a Saturday morning? Come on, man, you madman. Perd beer. Alexander, I'd love to stay, but I got to head out now. Enjoy the stream. No worries, Alex. Thank you, my friend. Take care. Charlotte's laughing. Bucket list destination, Santorini. Okay, absolutely. Mine would be the Maldives. That'd be mine for sure. I'd really want to go there and on one of those over the water huts and snorkel and totally, yeah. Benen's super flexible. He does yoga. No, he does not. And actually, I've got a little tweak in my neck these days, which sort of probably. Oh, you know what? I need to go surfing. I need to go surfing. Although I haven't checked the swell, I didn't use the chance that I could have just then to go out and check if there's any swell. But I got to go surfing. Lamu, Kenya, paradise. I would kill to be there at the moment. Let's have a look at Lamu. Lemu sounds like a French cat. Lemu. Let me go over here. Let me have a look at Lemu, Kenya. Lemu, Kenya. Images. Ooh. Wow, is that snow? That's snow there? Dude, it looks cold there. It wouldn't be snowing in Kenya. Why is it all white? Very nice, dude. Yeah, it looks lovely. Looks a very, very, very nice place. Drinking Jack right now. Charlotte Rose, you're drinking a Jack right now? Well, I'm a little jealous, I'm not going to lie. Charlotte says, bucket, Santorini, yes, of course. Opted a can instead of a coffee. Hey, it's a Saturday. That's fair. I had 2 last night on the D live stream. Perd beer. Charlotte has given the order. Go get the bottle. No, I'm not. What's on my mind? I mean, I kind of knew I would get VP because of the reason you just stated, and to address that, I think I just kind of confused myself on that one. So you don't think that was something? So you're going back on that. You were a little confused on the growth thing, and you didn't think. Okay, I get you. I get you. Definitely not snow. I know it's definitely not snow because it's in Kenya, but that does look kind of strange, right? It's even in the trees. Like there's all this white stuff in the tree line. Not snow, Kenya. The Maldives. Let's have a look at the Maldives. That's a place I'd love to get to. I mean, who wouldn't want to go here, right? It just looks so rad, right? Mind you, that'd be pretty shit snorkeling because it's just sand, right? You want there to be like you want to be out there on the reef. Oh, there's reef lines there. Huh. Does she come with the holiday? Oh, you. Yeah, it looks like a place where I could enjoy spending my time for sure. Sitting there with a Jack or even a Bounty rum. I want to go back to Fiji just to get a bottle of Bounty rum, folks. This rum from Fiji. Which bottle is it? This guy right here. Oh, it's only a small image. This one here. This bottle here. The dark rum. Oh, sorry, the overproof one. This one here on the left. Oh, that's so tiny. Sorry, folks. That bottle on the left there, that there is absolutely beautiful. The last time I had it, unfortunately, was with Danny Black in the cabin on the cruise. I got 2 bottles. And I somehow managed to get both of those bottles onto that ship without any... Like, I bought them in Fiji, in Savu Savu? No. I can't recall where I bought them. In Fiji, like on a day trip, and I just walked onto the ship with them. Nobody said anything about customs or taxes or anything. I bought them locally in a little bar, little takeout thing or whatever, Actually, it was in the market, and I had them in my bag, and I just walked in, and nobody said anything to declare, sir. Any duty free items, anything. I just walked straight in. And I was like, hey, Danny, I got 2 bottles of rum with me. You want to drink them? He's like, how'd you get those on the ship? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't do anything. I just walked in. Like, did nobody stop you? You didn't put your bag into the thing? I did all that stuff. Nobody said anything. It's like, bottoms up. We drank both of them. That should have been confiscated from me, and it should have been delivered back when I got to Australia. Because that's basically like walking onto a plane with 2 bottles of liquor, which is essentially what I did. Charlotte Rose says, I've gotten heaps of bottles of booze onto cruise ships after being at a port. Laugh my fucking ass off. Shush. Is it an easy thing to do? I mean, I felt guilty doing it because you're supposed to use the ship's alcohol, and I also felt a little bit scared that Danny might say, oh, dude, you're going to have to go and check that properly because he's staff, right? He'd be like, well, you're a guest of mine and you've done the wrong thing. I have to report it, and you're going to have to put that through the process. But Danny was like, cheers, let's drink it. So we did, and it's so nice. And I mean, I could probably find it here. Actually, you know what? Let's have a little look here if Dan Murphy's has it. That's a good point. Dan Murphy's probably sells it. Wonder how much it is if they've got it. Bounty rum. Ah, don't have it. That sucks. What about somewhere else in Australia? I pressed my luck. They x-rayed, didn't say nothing. Same as you. Not our fault. Exactly, Charlotte. Like, I was ready to say, yeah, I mean, if someone had said anything to declare, sir, I would have said, yeah, I got 2 bottles of liquor. Nobody said anything, and my bag went through the x-ray, and then he just pushed me through, and I'm like, we're going to drink this tonight then. Sure. Bounty rum. So my bottle shop obviously have it. It's from Fiji Rum Co. Petersham Liquor Market have it. Oh, wow, dude. Value Sellers have it. Booze Bud has it. Jesus, it's easy to get here. Not cheap, though. That's actually slightly different. That's slightly different. That's a really low-res image, too. That's slightly different, though. Oh, what? How come that's so cheap? $40? Jack Daniels 3-litre bottle for 200 bucks for a 3-litre bottle of Jack. Look at this, folks. This is super cheap. That's not the one, though. It's the overproof rum. See, that's not the one. Bounty white rum, that's not the one. Let's see if they got the other one. Oh, they haven't. Oh, no, they got it. They got it. Dark rum. That's not it. The overproof one. What's the overproof run? The overproof run. Overproof. It's this bottle here. It's this bottle here. Premium overproof, 58%. That's the one that you want. Let's go to the shopping. Yeah, they don't seem to have that. It's not commonly available. Spiced rum. I wish they had the I mean, I'm sure that's equally as nice. This is the print. What's this worth? No more stock. They're out of stock. Just do a search for Bounty. So that's not. I mean, I've not tried the spice rum, but the one that's really rad is the overproof. It'll knock your head off, but it's so tasty. It's got a real distinct flavor. It's a and they sell that by the truckload in Fiji because it is so potent, right? I recall seeing a guy drinking it, falling downstairs. Right? It was twisted drunk. We didn't get that drunk, but there's the dark rum. Overproof rum. That's a weird looking bottle though. That's a different bottle. That's spiced rum. That's not it. The overproof rum. Let's do shopping. Yeah, all the good things are hard to find, right? Isn't that strange? You can get all the other ones. You just can't get the one that's the best. Yeah, not there. Bounty rum. Bounty rum. Stay on the rum. I think My Bottle Shop sell it. I kind of don't want to order from him, from an ex-employer though. Fiji Rum Co. This is the guy here. That one. It's 58% by volume. Overproof rum. That's it. Sold out. How far is Petersham Bottler from you? It's a train ride. It's up in the city. Did they have it? Did they? Petersham. Funnily enough, that bottle shop is extremely close to where I've got to go to pick up the CDs when the Armageddon gets printed. That Petersham bottle shop, because I've been there before to pick up a bottle of a special bottle of Jack. Petersham. Petersham. Yeah, did they say they had it here? Oh, sorry, this is that one. Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, I reckon this is just an old bottle of that, an old version of that. That's the same one though, 58%. I wonder if we searched for Bounty, would it actually have the other one on there as well? Oh, Bounty? I spelled it wrong. I was like, how come that didn't come up? I literally typed in Bounty. Bounty. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's the spice rum. Shit. Okay, so that's. I would suggest that they've got it, but that's just an old photo of it. Or that could be the export version of that bottle. But that's the one. Yeah, it's really, really tasty. That's the only place that stocks it. Value Cellars, dark rum. Where's the search here? Bounty. Value Cellars, Bounty. Let's do a search for Bounty. So they've only got the dark rum. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting stuff. And obviously My Bottle Shop has it, but they don't have that in stock right now. So Petersham Bottle Shop, Liquor Mart, that's the only place. That's where I've been. Let me see what else they had in Jack. We're looking at liquor on the stream here, folks. They had some interesting stuff up there at one point. Looks kind of standardized now. Yeah. Bounty rum, overproof. The Fat Pirate, the Fat Rum Pirate, Liquor World. Liquorworld.com.au. What's Liquor World? Out of stock. Liquor World. So when you do a search for something, when you search for something not extensively, what's the word? When you do a search for something like explicitly, you find places that you'd never seen before. Like there's a one called beerstore.com.au. What's beerstore.com.au? Kyle Sparks. G'day, Kyle. How you going? Do you still do full face snorkel mask reviews? Not at the moment. How you going, dude? I only work with brands when they reach out to me, and no brands reached out to me recently in a little while. Bounty Rum in Fiji. From New Zealand. This is in New Zealand. Where is it? That's a big bottle. That's 1.125 liters. Only $90. They obviously don't deliver to Australia, but Millsy's too young to go and pick up liquor. The Rum Club Australia. The Rum Club. Interesting. What the hell is this, folks? How this work? What is this? The Rum Club, Australia's premier rum subscription club. How it works. No joining fees, only pay for the rum you choose. Join the Rum Club online. Join now for free. Get notified each month of the upcoming release. Pricing and special offers. Our purchasing power means you get exceptional rums at the best prices. Only pay for the rum you choose. Cancel any time. Wait for the rum to arrive. So in 6 days, there's a monthly release. 1 bottle subscription. Interesting. Huh. Pretty. I mean, here I said, let's continue the stream and we'll talk about your favorite vacations, and we're talking about rum. Classic. Liquor World has a good Jack selection, does it? Liquor World. Liquor World. Liquor World. Let's have a look at Jackskis. Oh, they got the bottled in bond. Yeah, right. I grabbed a couple of these when I came back from somewhere last time overseas. Did I type that wrong? It only brought up a few. That's better. They do have a good selection there. Very good selection. That there. That's an old bottle. If you ever see a bottle like this with the rounded edges, see how that's got rounded edges? They're the old versions of. If you ever go to a liquor store in your town and the Jack Daniels is not like, let me compare it for you. Let me just compare it for you. So just out of curiosity, see how this bottle is square edges? The edges are squared off. That's a very low res image, but you've got the square edges, or you've got. A small image, sorry folks. Or you've got the rounded edges. That round edge, they're the old school bottles. If you see any of those in your local liquor store and they're not this squared off edge, you should just grab whatever they are, because that stuff is extremely rare. It's off the market. Carl Sparks, my favorite vacation is Florida. Very cool. Very cool. Tim, I have to go. Catch you all later. Thanks for today's chat, man. No worries, Tim. Thank you for swinging by, man. Romsky! Hey, Ben and I nearly have to say the beachside or out in the sticks from my favorite vacation. Beachside? Yeah, totally, man. Beachside. That's like me too, you know. You got to be near the coast. Got to be near the ocean. Very cool. If you could get to Petersham today, you could drink it on the D Live later, or it's too far. It's too far to do that in one day, Charlotte. Like right now, by the time I'd get up there, yeah, it'd be too far. Asking for a friend. Charlotte, thank you. It'd be definitely too far to do that. If I go up to Sydney and come back in the same day, I usually get out and leave by 8 o'clock, and it's now near 11. Interesting stuff. Very cool. I didn't want to talk about rum on the stream today, but there we go. We had a little chit chat about rumskis. But folks, I guess we can end this up now. You guys are pulling out anyway. Pulling out. You're leaving now, so I guess we should wrap this thing up. And yeah, I'm gonna go and have a look at the ocean and see if it's gonna be possible for a wave, or I'm going to start setting up my interview system here and get that nutted out. But I will see you on DLive later. There's been a community stream from Tidy we haven't seen yet, so I'm going to go and check that out on the DLive later on this afternoon. Speaking of drinking, my home brew is ready to be drunk, so I'm going to have a long neck of that on the stream this afternoon. Thanks for a wonderful stream, folks. I can hear my outro music rolling right now. I guess that's a signification for me to say I'll see you next time, and have a look at my water until the music rolls and the outro rolls. Is that long enough? A bit longer. Hold it there. That's it.